Hey there, comic book fans! This is another edition of Not on the Pole for the week of October 19th, 2011. First things first, there are spoilers in this, so if you're not wanting these books wrecked for you before you read them, check the hashtags down below. That way you're not going to miss out on anything or me spoil anything for you. Okay? First up, we're going to talk about Catwoman No. 2, written by Judd Wittick with art by Gilliam March. Of course, a lot of excitement there was about this, the first issue of this book. This issue has some more of the same, not quite as much sexual tension, but it does add a little more detail to the kind of somewhat messed up relationship that Catwoman and Batman have. The cover, my wife referred to it as looking like a romance novel. I think that's pretty funny. I guess it does have kind of that look to it. It's not quite so romantic on the inside, or at least not my kind of romance anyway. There's definitely sexual tension there between the two of them as they clean themselves up and go on with their days, as it were. Selene moves out of the penthouse that she's in because obviously Bats has found it. She knows that he can follow her wherever. There's not a whole lot she could do about it, but he doesn't seem to. Like I said, adds more to their relationship. It will be curious to see how they address that going on further. At any rate, the Russian mob and their mysterious picture, Selene goes about stealing it and then playing two different mobs against each other to gather money from both of them. She sets up a meet, sets up to further make miserable or kill off a Russian mobster that she knows from her past. And they do this meet at a Bruce Wayne charity. That leads to some interesting things, because Selene is dressed up as a definite hottie in it, and she definitely gets the Playboy Bruce Wayne's attention. But of course, Bruce Wayne knows it's Selene. But of course, Selene does not know that Bruce is Batman. So she plays with him for a little bit, and is actually mildly interested in Bruce Wayne and flirting with Bruce Wayne and whatnot. And that's I think there's some fun written stuff there that I kind of enjoyed. I thought it was amusing. The setup between the Russian mobsters is pretty cool too. Unfortunately, there's a part in this comic book that really bums me out. She gets back home after stealing all of this money and goes to share it with Lola, her fence, and she discovers that Lola has been tied to a chair and looks like she's been mercilessly beaten and killed, it looks like. Obviously, this has a horrible effect on Selene because I think she truly cared for Lola. And then she's jumped once again by the goons that blew up her house in the first place. This time they get the jump on her, though, because of the state that Lola is in. And as they beat her across the room, we get to meet who it is that's actually chasing her down. A man by the name of Bone, nicely dressed, with a really bad skin condition. And he's pretty ticked off that she keeps stealing his stuff. So, we're left with kind of a cliffhanger of her getting the hell beat out of her, and what's going to happen next. I will say this, I'm interested. I still like this title. I like the look of it, not because it's hottie. It's just got an interesting look to it. I like Gilliam March's art. It's got enough of a different look that I enjoy it. I like the tones and the colors that are in it. I should probably give credit to the colorist at some point. Offhand, I don't remember what the colorist's name is. I apologize for that, because I think that they have a big impact on his art and the way it looks. I'm going to be really bummed if the next issue of this, she's saved by like Batman or something. That's just going to suck. They need to sport Selene as being a strong woman and capable of taking care of herself. And that's not going to show if she can't figure out how to get herself out of this, and Batman shows up to save her. Anyway, I'll be getting number 3. I don't know. This still isn't on my pull list. I gotta order comics this month at some point, so I'm not sure if I'm going to put it on it or not. It's probably going to get one more issue before I make a real decision as to whether or not I'm going to put it on the poll. But to tell you the truth, I have been enjoying it. It's a different look at Selene and Batman's relationship, which I know a lot of people don't like. I think it's interesting. I don't necessarily think it's romantic or love or that kind of stuff, but it's interesting. It's an interesting take on it, so I'm willing to read that. I don't think the comic has insulted anybody yet, any of the characters and the character's integrity. I know some people believe that it has. So far I don't. So I'll keep watching it, and that's my justification for keep reading it. And that's my justification for keeping reading it. Anyway, on to the other issue that wasn't on my poll list that I picked up this week, and that is Supergirl number 2, written by Michael Green and Mike Johnson, with art by Mohammed Assur. This issue, she actually gets to meet Superman. We find out that Kal-El, Superman, is her cousin and is her younger cousin. Matter of fact, the 2 days before she lands on Earth, she is babysitting Kal-El as a very, very small baby. So this really freaks her out when she runs into Superman. She doesn't know who he is, but she can see the symbol on his chest as the family crest, and she's not too happy that he's wearing it. And then when he tells her that he is Kal-El, that doesn't set too well either. Most of the book, quite frankly, is a big punch-up of them knocking each other around China and whatnot. She actually knocks Superman through the Great Wall of China a couple times. And she discovers some more of her powers, like the fact that she can fly and that sort of stuff. The two of them kick each other around for a while, until it gets towards the end of the comic. And she realizes that the China Wall that she thinks is some sort of a fort or barricade or something like that is actually potentially a home that some people with their children live in and whatnot. And she's not too keen on beating the daylights out of that. So she does settle down. Superman finally does keep showing, he keeps showing up every time he gets knocked away. And he's decided that he's not going to fight her and he really wants to help her out. And so she settles down some to figure out what's going on. It's a fun slap around. It's not real depthy. The very end of it's very interesting though, because somebody has gone to the crash site where she landed and retrieved something from her ship, and it's a crystal. And I'm not sure, but is that somebody Lex Luthor? It looks like a businessman type person standing in the shadows that they're providing this to. That's just my assumption. I'm not a Superman reader. I don't know the Superman family really all that well. So I don't know. Maybe this is somebody new or whatnot, or maybe it's somebody that's got a hold of a piece of Kryptonian stuff to then start causing problems for the Super family. But I enjoyed it. I really still like the art. I like the way they draw her hair. I like her face. She has a lot of character. Shows a lot of personality in her face and whatnot. I enjoy that. It's interesting the alien aspect they're applying here. Her frustrations and whatnot are interesting. I'm hoping at some point they introduce some joy and some fun into the book also. Not sure how they do that. I'm just saying that I know this is a book that my daughter reads. She hasn't read this yet, so I can't tell you whether or not my 10-year-old is still enjoying it or whatnot. This was her favorite book that she read, and like I said, she's not much of a comic book reader. So curious to see what she has to say. If she likes it, this is going to go on my pull list, but I'll still have at least one more issue, even if it's on my pull list, that I'll be picking up from the local comic shop. So I'll still report it on there, and the next time I do one of these, hopefully she'll have read them, and I'll be able to tell you whether or not, they are appealing to a 10-year-old girl or not. Anyway, that's it for this week. I'll see you next week. Have a good one.